Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm coming with you with a story time, which I haven't did in literally like 2 months, so I'm really excited. And I want to apologize in advance if you hear any noise in the background. I do have a lot of family members that live in my house, just like that noise if you guys heard that. But yeah, so just don't mind the noise in the background if you hear it. And also another disclaimer, I know I wore this shirt in last week's video, but who cares? Like, I just watched it yesterday, so anywho, let me elaborate a little bit on this story. Now, I know y'all probably like graduated in one day, like girl, bye, like you lying. But let me explain this story. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So like around 2010, 2011, because I graduated in 2014, that was the time where, I was finished with eighth grade year. I was done with middle school. It was the summertime. We was having fun with my cousins, and honestly, it was like we were having fun that summer, but it was kind of like the household that I live in is so very, very, very strict. And it was like I was trying to have fun, but honestly, like I was very, very, very depressed. Like growing up, since my mom passed away, I've been very, very depressed. I sometimes tend to have a depressed soul, and I know it's not good, but that's just what happened. And I felt like I was on lockdown all the time. I felt like I was trapped. It felt like your girl was in jail, and I'm just being honest. So I did enjoy going to school because it was like a little free break from, being in the house all the time. Seems like I was in trouble for smallest things ever. Just, it was a horrible, horrible time in my experience. I'm not going to say my life was bad, but being trapped, it gets, it can be stressful and, make you very depressed. So around that time, summertime was coming to an end. It was almost time for us to start going back to school, and I was just ready. Like I was excited. I was about to start ninth grade, going to high school, and it was just everything that I was waiting for. And yeah, time was ticking, and we wasn't being enrolled for some reason. I don't know why. My aunt, and basically this story time is for me and my cousin Kaya. You guys seen her. My aunt, which is her mom, and my aunt's husband, which is her stepdad. I live with them. I lived with them since I was 8 years old when my mom passed away. And yeah, but anyways, we weren't being enrolled in school, and we were wondering like why, until one day they came and told us that they were going to put us in homeschool. Because later I found out it was because a cousin that we used to hang out with all the time, for some reason they didn't want us going to school with her because they felt like we were going to get in trouble, and they felt like we were followers, which I really hated that about them, that they always felt like we were followers, and it was kind of like, putting us down in a way. And I'm just being honest, I don't want them to watch this video and feel bad about the situation, but that's how they made me feel. So, that's just how they treated us. And so, being already on lockdown, and then not being able to go to high school, and having to go to homeschool, and not have any say in that, it was just so stressful for me. So I was literally crying every day. I was depressed. It was just all bad, to be so honest. So they enrolled us into homeschool. I don't know if you guys heard of K-12, but that's where we were enrolled into. And honestly, it was such a horrible experience. I did that for ninth and 10th grade year, and I got so behind because the schooling was just bad for me. I'm not a homeschool type of person. Like, I could do my school at home, but the way that school was set up was just not working for me. And I would show them, like my aunt and her husband didn't know, they didn't read anything. They just enrolled us and was just like, here. and they had us doing work, and we didn't know that we were supposed to do the work online and also send work to our homework and stuff to them. So we were just doing work online, and I was still getting bad grades, not understanding why. My aunt and them weren't looking into it really, and they weren't understanding why. And sometimes, like when I would take tests on that website, I would get the question right, but it would still mark it wrong. It would show me the right answer, which would be the answer that I chose, but for some reason it will mark it wrong. So my aunt and them tried to contact the school, but nothing seemed to be working. It was just a horrible experience. Everything was going downhill because, not trying to brag, but I am a very smart girl. I've been on the honor roll. I've always had good grades, you know. I was just, you know, one of them nerdy students, but, you know, no one called me a nerd. But I was one of those girls that everybody wanted to be like my partner because they knew I was smart and I was always getting good grades. So during this time that I was in homeschool, I actually got really, really sick. I found a cyst on my body. It was like a lump. I didn't know it was a cyst at first. I kept it a secret at first because I was scared and I didn't know what that was. But when it got really big and started to get really painful, I let my aunt know. And that can be a whole nother story time. But long story short, I got sick. I had to get surgery. And then it made me miss a lot of, you know, my online schooling. I couldn't do anything because I had so much medication that would make me sleep literally all day. I wasn't able to eat. I lost so much weight. And it was just such a depressing time. I can't stress that enough. It was so depressing. And, you know, it was sad, guys, sad. So finally around 2013, that summer, my aunt and my uncle, which is her husband, decided that they were finally going to enroll me in high school. After doing so bad, they were saying, you know, you're a smart girl, so we're gonna enroll you in high school so you can go to school. So I was so excited about that. I was happy, couldn't wait. I was a little nervous because I haven't been to high school, so, you know, and they actually let me stay in my right grade. I was going to be a junior, and they let me be a junior, and I didn't have that many credits or anything. Out here, I think you have to have like 24 credits or somewhere around that, and I didn't have all my credits. But anyways, I was thankful that they let me stay in my grade, in my right grade. I knew I was gonna have to work hard, but you know, I was willing to do that. So, you know, 11th grade year go by and it was a breeze. It was easy. I was happy. It was such a great experience. I had so much fun. I did so much, and I passed all my classes, of course. And then it comes time for 12th grade year, which was 2014, and that year was stressful. Now, they say your last year is supposed to be a breeze, but that year for me was super stressful, and let me tell you why. So previously, being in homeschooling, I was behind on a lot of credits. You have to have a certain amount of credits to graduate, and you have to pass your proficiency test. Now, in the 11th grade, I passed 1 out of 4 of my proficiency tests, which is the writing proficiency. I passed it with flying colors because I'm good with writing and all that. I'm great with. But I still had to pass math, science, and I think it's history or something, the last one. And so I basically have to do everything in this one year. And so it was hard. They put me in a class to help with proficiencies, and I would, like I said, I was behind on my credits, so I have to have a certain amount of credits for me to graduate, which was like I think it was, I don't remember if it was 21 and a half credits. Yeah, I think it's 21 and a half credits we have to have. And so I worked my butt off. I worked off so bad. Like I had a full schedule. I did an after school class. They let us do an after school class, and you earn a half credit for each course you pass. and it let me make up on the courses that I couldn't pass when I was in homeschooling, which I was grateful for that. And I put in work, like I was able to do it at home as well. I would spend all day doing those extra credits so I can earn a half credit so I wanted to graduate on time. That was my thing, was to graduate on time. I just remember being so depressed and crying to my aunt, telling her how tired I was, and because I would be doing that all day and I was just so tired. Like I was tired, and I would tell her how I wanted to graduate on time, and I would just express that to her, and she would comfort me, and tell me it'll be okay, we're gonna make sure you graduate. But I really worked my butt off, and proficiencies came around again, and I took the test, and I had high hopes. I studied so much for that, and then the time came where they called me into the counselor's office. Everyone was getting called into the counselor's office to know if they passed or not. And so I went in the counselor's office, and my heart was pounding. I was scared because that was the last time for me to pass before the school year was over. And he told me, well, you passed all the rest of the other tests. And I was so excited, guys. I wanted to cry. Like, that was one thing scratched off, and I was this much closer to graduating. So I was so happy, and I continued to work hard on those online courses and after school classes to earn these half credits to try to build my credits back up that I've missed. So time is going on, and I'm still working my butt off, and I'm gaining so many credits in a short amount of time because I'm working really hard. And it's getting close to the end of my senior year. I'm still not where I'm not at the 21 and a half credits that I needed to be in order to graduate. But yeah, and one day the counselor called me, and he pulled me out of of my math class, and called me into his office, and he was just explaining to me, the time, like, it's the end of time now, you're not at 20 and a half credits. I was at 19 and a half, I think. Or no, I needed 21 and a half credits to graduate. I was at 20 credits, guys, 20 credits. But I had made up all the classes that I could, and I just needed that, one credit or one and a half. I just needed 1.5 credit, but I was 1.5 credit short of graduating. And he basically told me, you can't walk because you didn't get all the credits that is required for you to graduate. And I just talked to him and asked him, was there anything else I can do? And he said I had to graduate maybe in the summer, but I'm a smart girl. Like, I worked hard to get where I was, and I wanted to graduate on time, but he basically was telling me that I couldn't. So, he sent me back to class, and I just remember bawling my eyes out in class. I was crying in class, and everybody was just looking at me. And the teacher just stopped, and he told like the little side sub teacher or whatever to go ahead and speak on the lecture that they were giving us. And my teacher came, and he was just crouched down, and he was talking to me like, are you okay? Do you want to go to the restroom really quick? And I'm just like, yeah. So I go to the restroom, and I was just in there crying so hard. And then the teacher, I guess he sent one of the girls in there, and she came, and she knocked on the stall door. She's like, are you okay? And I'm just telling her no. And then she was like, well, do you want a hug? And I told her no. But she was like, come on, just give me a hug, and let's just talk a little bit. So I opened the stall door, and she gave me a hug, which was really comforting. And if she's watching this, which she probably isn't, thank you. I talked to her a little bit, and she made me, feel just a little bit better about the situation. But yeah, so that was basically that, and I went through the rest of my senior year, still passed all my classes, but I was still short 1.5 credits. I had 20 credits, and I need 21 and a half. And so, I was just sad. and graduation day was coming up. It was going to be June 9th, I believe. 2014 was graduation day. And I was just sad, but I was determined. Still, somehow, I felt like I worked hard for this. I should graduate on time. And so I was doing some research online, and I came across this. I came across this adult school called I don't even remember because it all happened in one day. So it was like Adult School of Las Vegas or something like that. And I told my aunt, and they were like, okay, well, let's go up there and see what this is about. So we went up there, and they told me, well, with our school, you only need 20 and a half credits to graduate. And mind you, I had 20 credits already, so all I needed was a half credit. And so they were like, we have these tests that you can take right now if you want to, and if you pass, you will gain that half credit right now. And so I was like, yeah, of course. Like, the test didn't cost anything. So I took the test, and I took my time, and I gave it to the man when I was done. He graded it right in front of me, and he showed me, and he's like, well, you passed. And when I tell you guys, I was so happy and so excited because I knew I was going to graduate. And he told me, take this paper down to the front office and let them know you passed. And so that's what I did. And I was literally enrolled that day. I got the half credit that day. And they told me, well, we're actually having graduation today, which was the 8th. My original graduation was supposed to be the day after, but theirs was the day before, and it was the 8th. And they told me, if you want to graduate today, you are qualified to graduate today. All you got to do is pay $40 for your cap and gown. And my aunt and my uncle, they were like, okay. So they paid the $40, and I called my cousins and them, and I told them I'm graduating today. Like, I was so excited that I was graduating that day. And yeah, I couldn't be more proud and more happy. And I got my cap and gown, and a few hours later I graduated that day. And I graduated a day before my original high school graduated, and I was happy about that. So, but yeah, that's basically the story time about how I graduated in one day. Sorry if this story was kind of long. But yeah, that's my story. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below of anything else you may want to see next from me. I should have a really funny video coming out maybe today or tomorrow. Yeah, it's gonna be a parody. But yeah, give me a big thumbs up if you like this video, and if you are new, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It'll help me out so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.